Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the OR News broadcast. It is 6 o'clock, and that means it's time for our English Flash News edition, in which we present a translated version of the Albanian news for our international viewers. In today's news, the former Prime Minister Dritan Prifti appeared today to the prosecution in order to testify in the case of the MP Tom Doshi. After his testimony, Prifti made the comment that, unlike Mark Froku, he told the truth about what he knew. Prifti said that he was called by the prosecution because Ilir Meta mentioned his name. According to him, Meta has done so in order to distract the attention of the public. I was in the prosecution today because Ilir Meta has tried to involve me in this story, he said. I heard about this story back in October. He has also mentioned my businesses. This is a tactic by Meta to distract the attention of the public. If Meta continues to involve me in this issue, I will have to return to politics, said Prifti. Prifti confirmed that there was a scheme to kill Tom Doshi, and he expressed his conviction that the prosecution will find out the truth now that he has given his testimony. He said, there was indeed a plot to kill Tom Doshi, and I believe that the prosecutors will find out the truth. I am not like Mark Froku. I spoke the truth here. I am not afraid of any pressure from Ilir Meta or his people. With the information that I have, the truth will be uncovered, said Prifti. The former prime minister added that he does not have any video of Shkelzen Berisha in his possession. He said that these claims are merely the tactics of Ilir Meta to cloud and manipulate the issue at hand. The Democratic Party has reacted to the statements of the Assembly Speaker, once again repeating their demand that he resign his office. The head of the Democratic Parliamentary Group, Paloka, said that Ilir Meta cannot challenge the law, the Constitution, the justice system, and the people. Paloka said, yesterday, Ilir Meta showed that he is desperate. He speaks nonsense in order to save himself from the most serious events in the last 25 years in politics, a plot to murder 2 MPs. It was an MP from his own majority that accused him, yet he chooses to defend himself by attacking the opposition. As the number 2 man of the state, Ilir Meta is hampering justice and exerting his power to stop the investigation of this case and the revelation of the truth. The citizens are waiting for just one thing from him. The citizens are waiting for his resignation. Ilir Meta cannot challenge the law, the Constitution, and the justice system and the people. The countdown has already started. On Thursday, the Albanians, more united than ever, will begin an action to liberate the political realm, to liberate the parliament and the country from the rule of crime. We will not stop until the right side prevails. We must unite on March 12th at 11 o'clock in Skanderbeg Square, said Paloka. Meanwhile, the Youth Forum in the Democratic Party has protested for the second time already in front of Meta's office. They demanded his resignation and that he be made to face justice. There were fierce debates and arguments in the Law Commission today, which eventually led to the opposition standing up and abandoning the meeting. The opposition called the majority to react and take action against those who have threatened the lives of 2 MPs. The Democratic MP Edward Halimi said, "We know that the majority has the votes and that it will reject the motion of the opposition for the resignation of Ilir Meta. It has been 2 weeks since the event was made public, and you have not taken a stance against the plot to kill 2 MPs, said Halimi. The chairman of the Law Commission, Fatmir Jafai, said that the members of the majority cannot play the role of the prosecution. On the other side, the head of the Republican Party, Fatmir Bediu, supported the opposition MPs. He said, our constitutional duty is to control the government. The Interior Ministry has violated the laws, and we as MPs cannot pretend that we are not aware of this issue. We must hold our political ground, said Mediu. The opposition MPs then abandoned the meeting of the Law Commission and did not participate in the discussion on the draft laws. The members of the majority continued the agenda of the meeting without them. The Socialist Movement for Integration has issued a statement urging the opposition to return to its parliamentary duties. The head of the parliamentary group of the SMI, Vasili, has called the opposition not to boycott the parliamentary committees. He reminds them that they need to give their contribution to the changes in the electoral code, which are primarily technical. He made the following statement to the media today. The opposition should abandon their boycott and cooperate in the spirit of the agreement of December 24th. The opposition must be constructive and participate and present its amendments. The changes to the electoral code requires 3/5 of the votes, which the majority currently holds. The majority does not need the opposition to pass the changes, but they have expressed their desire that both parties agree on these issues. The Speaker of the Assembly, Ilir Meta, also expressed his concern about the delay at a meeting he held with the Coalition of Domestic Observers. Meta confirmed that the Law Committee will hold a meeting on this issue within the week. The Coalition of Domestic Observers has proposed the adoption of a code of ethics by all political parties, which will be put into use before and during the electoral campaign for the local elections of June 2015. Meta emphasized that it is very necessary that the code for the local elections and the code of ethics of the deputies must be signed by all political parties represented in the Assembly. There were debates and argument in the Security Commission today over some new changes to the road code. The Socialist MP Pierin Indreu was against the proposal to have a foreign organization provide the first response in case of accidents, as according to him, this is discrimination against the Albanian organizations. He said, "The emergency response is not something that an Albanian organization cannot do. Why is there need for an international agency? This leads to bias. We cannot make these restrictions. This discrimination paves the way to favoritism." The draft law was approved by only the majority members, as the opposition has abandoned the commission in a sign of protest, demanding the resignation of Ilir Meta. The debate on urban waste turned into a clash between the majority and the opposition in today's Economy Commission. The opposition abandoned the committee in a sign of protest because, according to the Democrat MP Ridvan Bode, the draft law presented by the Ministry of Environment places additional burden on the consumers. He said that the political situation in the country is so tense that there is no place for such discussions at this time. After this statement, the head of the commission, Erion Bratse, and the Minister of Environment, Leftar Koka, accused the opposition of granting concessions without legal criteria. They said that they ought to be investigated by the authorities. The draft law on the new system for waste management was approved only with the votes of the majority. It is intended to promote the recycling of waste and regulate waste management. Today, Prime Minister Edi Rama spoke at the inauguration of the new Social Security offices. During his speech, the Prime Minister praised the pension reform as one of his government's most important achievements to date. He said that the citizens will now be able to determine the amount of their pensions. The Minister of Social Welfare and Youth also spoke at the inauguration. He estimated that the pension reform has already begun to take effect, as the number of those who pay their social insurance has increased by over 93,000 people. He added that thanks to the new plan, people who have worked as soldiers or teachers could receive pensions of up to 340,000 lek for the first time. He said, "This has been an extraordinary year for the pension reform. There has been an increase of contributors by about 20%. Most of them are people who have stopped working under the table, something that will be rewarded with higher pensions," said Minister Veliaj. That's all the news for this evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching. Please join us again at the same time tomorrow for more Albanian news in English. Thanks, and have a great night.